Moving to South Sudan now, where the government is reportedly in talks with the former army chief. A standoff between the government and General Paul Malong has raised fears of fresh fighting in the capital, Juba. The negotiations are aimed at avoiding further violence, as CGTN's Patrick Oyet reports.
South Sudan's government was forced to hold an extraordinary Council of Ministers meeting to try to resolve a stalemate between the former army chief, General Paul Malong I, and government forces. President Salva Kiir ordered that guards of Malong be reduced from 50 to 3, but Malong has not complied. The army responded by surrounding his residence, creating panic in the capital, but Juba says it's hopeful the issue will be resolved peacefully.
Efforts are underway and the talks are going on because we don't want this thing to be handled militarily, because under the normal circumstances it would have been a question of moving in the tanks and the whole thing is over, but we don't want that to happen, and this is why we are giving room for further contacts and interventions, and we are optimistic that this issue will be addressed soon.
Malong has been at the forefront of South Sudan's wars, an army officer who joined politics prior to the start of the ongoing conflict. He had been a governor in the then northern Bahr el Ghazal state, but when conflict erupted in mid-December 2013, Malong left his position and joined the army in fighting opposition forces loyal to former Vice President Riek Machar. He was later an army chief before being relieved from that post early this year. One political analyst says keeping Malong under house arrest without any clear charges in either a court of law or military court-martial could be counterproductive.
Now Malong is getting much support and sympathy from people, even those who were initially opposed to him, for the fact that he was seen as an obstacle to peace. But now, with the treatment and what is going on now, people are saying that Malong has been humiliated beyond what it deserves, because it's believed to be the person who have stood for this government, and many could not understand how come that the government you stood for it would go back and do the same treatment.
Peter Mayen says the standoff shows just how complicated it is to resolve South Sudan's conflict, with many of the army generals having forces loyal to them rather than to the nation. South Sudan's 4-year-old conflict has already pushed almost 5 million people to a state of severe food insecurity, according to the latest report released jointly by government and UN on Monday this week. Millions more are displaced, and events such as the impasse between the former army chief and the government are concerning for the local population. However, the unity government is trying to assure citizens there is no need to panic and that the disagreement will be resolved peacefully. Patrick Oyet, CGTN, Juba, South Sudan.